Welcome back, everybody. It has been a while since we've sat and recorded anything for the podcast. I'm glad that we are finally pretty settled since finals and can kind of get back into a routine with recording these episodes. Um, for this week, you know, actually, when this comes out, it's literally 2 days before Christmas, but you know what? That's okay. That's okay. It happened. Um, we are
It's
talking
okay.
about,
Holiday season is cool.
yeah, we're going to be talking about, a good old fashioned like holiday movies, but as everybody knows, like holiday movies are sometimes good, but most of the time, the ones that come out each winter are really cheesy, really cringy, just like sometimes I feel like they're just pumping out Christmas themed content without putting much thought into it when they could put thought into it. But
Straight up facts. Straight up,
you know
that
what?
is the case.
It's all right, I guess. I feel like in the last 5 to 6 years that I've like really gotten into watching movies and stuff, all like the good Christmas movies are things from like early 2000, and like the stuff that I've been seeing come out within the last couple of years like has been underwhelming to say the least.
Yeah, like maybe like okay, so say 20 movies come out, I would like only one at
Yeah,
most. And maybe
the
even half
ratio
of
is
one
off.
because like yeah, it's not a good ratio.
Yeah, and we're going to be talking about one of those not so great holiday Christmas movies today called it's actually a sequel. Can't believe they were able to make a sequel out of the first one, but it's Princess Switch 2 on Netflix. With the main
Mhm.
characters being Vanessa Hudgens playing multiple characters. Yeah, the first one was just about, them two of them switching spots, one being a princess, one being a Chicago baker that goes to this mythical land and finds out that there's someone that looks like her. But in this
Did
one,
you feel like proud of the Chicago-ness or not?
I mean, like I love a good Chicago mention, but like you can feel the fakeness of that Chicago land that they were trying to.
All right. All right.
She was barely, she was
I see that. I respect.
she was there for like 2 seconds. It was all set. It wasn't really Chicago. And then, you know, they just threw in what, like clothing memorabilia to kind of sell the. She's from Chicago. She could have
Yeah.
been from anywhere. She could have just been from America. Like, they didn't have to be so specific all the time about her being from
America.
Chicago. I.
The whole of America, yes.
She's American, right? Like, when you go to a foreign country, like, you are just American. You are not the city that you are from.
You're
Because
not like, yeah, Chicagoan.
yeah,
You
like
just go
people don't
American.
get that, and I don't blame them. It's not like I know every city of every country outside of America either to know, like
Yeah.
past like major cities, right? Like I think that's also the factor. Like people will know
Mm-hmm.
Chicago, so I get why, but like they're not gonna know like a suburb. They're not gonna know Rockford,
Yeah.
Illinois. No one in America knows about like Rockford, Illinois, unless you're from Illinois. um,
Yes.
Anyways, yes. So like in the second movie, Vanessa Hudgens is not playing two. No, no, no. We still got the two, the princess and the
No.
baker, but now we
Two
got
was
a
not enough.
third Vanessa Hudgens. She's playing a third character.
And they switched it up. Okay, so a little bit of a spoiler alert. They were like, no, 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 no. They can't both be brunette Vanessa Hudgens. No, 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 no. They made her blonde Vanessa Hudgens for the
And
third
for some
character.
reason, the blondness made her look like one another, not exactly the same. That was like a really critical plot point, was about how this new third character and the princess don't look, it's not that they look exactly the same because they're like the same person. No, no, no. They just look very close to each other because they're cousins. And like if she
Yeah.
did her makeup differently and like her hair differently, then they would look really similar. Like, no, you guys are the same person. You're literally the same person.
Literally, it goes the princess switch. Switched again is the title.
Uh,
I can't. Oh my god. Literally gave her blonde hair, darker lipstick, and like more eye makeup and was like a totally different person. Completely.
I mean, she's still got a British accent. You know, she
Yeah.
got that going, like doing two roles with this with an accent that isn't hers.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, I
Yeah.
felt like I was cringing at that. For some reason, it didn't fit. I don't know if it was because she
It
just wasn't
doesn't.
doing it well, or if like it just knowing that she's not really drives a point in your head that like that's not right.
I think it's a combination, right? Because it's like, well, at least like I grew up seeing her like High School Musical and like, oh my god, Troy, and like that
Yeah,
type
more
of
like
crap.
high pitched.
But, like, yeah, high pitch,
Energetic.
and so like this is one lower pitch, and it's a lot like daintier. Because I just see like the British like accent in general as like dainty and like sophisticated and regal type stuff,
Yeah, to like an American,
and like
the British
yeah,
accent is very sophisticated. Yeah,
and
because they
it
specifically
feels
always
fake
use.
with
Yeah, sorry.
hmm?
They specifically always it's. I think the way that British people say is like they always use like a posh accent. There's like multiple
Yeah.
ways that British people can like accents come across based off of like the region that you grow up, and the way one
Mm.
that they always use because they're like regal, I guess, is like a very posh one that not many people are using.
Yeah, literally, yeah. It's like probably not the most accurate, but it's fine. It's fine. No, but like okay, so the new blonde character gives me very much Cruella de Vil vibes. Like
Because
I feel
the
like
hair.
the hair, yeah, exactly. And also like I don't know, I feel like her accent is a bit more like darling, like that type of stuff.
Oh, like
Like
very
think Edna
accentuated
but
at the
British.
vowels. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, like a bit more of like I guess villainous, I guess, which is what she's going for, so it works. But yeah, it's definitely. Well, I think we can both agree that we didn't think that the Princess Switch, the first one that was released in 2018, needed a sequel. I think we were pretty solid with
I
that
I
ending, with
barely
how that
enjoyed
went.
the first one, much less thinking that it deserved a second. And I bet you,
Yeah,
for some reason, I really feel like they're about to throw in like a
they're
third
gonna do
one
a third. Yeah.
because you know Netflix likes their trilogies as well because they did a
Mm.
Christmas trilogy, like a princess based Christmas. Was it a royal princess?
Yeah, there was like a Christmas baby or something.
And basically, like that trilogy was like, yeah, it was like the first one was about a writer going into a mythical land again where there's a prince falling in love, you know, getting proposed to at the end. Second movie is about like how she's working through being in America, being in this mythical land, and like as they're preparing for getting married. And then the third one is about them having a child. I've only watched one and two. I dare not touch the third movie. I feel like it is incredibly pointless to have three movies with the same character. And in the second movie of Princess Switch, there's a scene of those two from that trilogy. So they're like implying that there is some sort of Christmas universe going on where they're
That they're
all,
all in together.
yeah. And I'm like, all of these mythical places with mythical royal kingdoms can't exist because the majority of this world is no longer based on regal status.
Yeah, no. Okay, my okay, so one of my things is like if that's the case and if the universe of all the Christmas movies are all the same universe, Vanessa Hudgens has played multiple characters within the universes. Like she had a Christmas night thing where she was like a medieval knight, but it was like in the real world. Like she's played so many characters in Netflix Christmas movies
That's
that
true. I'm
literally that
thinking
like
that it's not to the extent of like, that, like that storyline,
yeah.
maybe not, but like all like the princess ones,
Yeah,
which is
I
which
believe
I
that.
think has been like two
Okay,
series, but I don't know.
my second thing that I have issue with. So I was thinking about this the whole time I was watching it. Well, when I found out like the basic premise, right? So basically, the whole like reason why the switch comes about is because the Duchess Margaret is getting like crowned. Sorry, I was about to say coroned because coronation,
Wow.
but crowned as like the new thank you. I know I'm a woman of many words. Um, no, so she was getting crowned as the new monarch since I guess the old one passed away, and like months ago she had broken up with Kevin, who she got together with at the end of the first movie.
Hmm.
So they broke up because they couldn't do the long distance. It was two different lives, whatever. And then they switched. So Stacy, the one that's married to the new the king guy, um,
The Chicago
and
baker. She's the
Margaret, the
baker.
Duchess. Yeah, Chicago baker switches with Stacy or switches with Margaret, so that Margaret can have more time with the baker guy Kevin, the best friend of Stacy. So basically, that's what happens, right? But then, so they come to the resolution of like, no, I want to stay. I want to be with you. I don't want to change your life. I don't want you to have to hold yourself back when you're with me. This is Kevin saying this to Margaret because Margaret's worried that Margaret's like, why did we break up? And he's like, I'm worried I'm holding you back, blah, 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 blah. And then he's like, okay, so we can make this work. And my thought immediately is like, so is he gonna leave his whole life in Chicago behind to go to this new place with his daughter? He has a kid who has a life in Chicago. And like he's a bakery in Chicago. So what's he gonna come to like this new I forget the mythical place's name, but this new place with literally like no connections other than Stacy, who's in another kingdom, and
Belgravia.
like bring his child. Oh, Belgravia, sorry. Like bring his child and just die.
Well, I mean, Stacy gave up her entire career to become this princess queen.
I mean, yeah, I guess, but I mean, yeah, that also. But then the thing is, at least she had someone to take over the bakery, right? What happens to the bakery? This whole business venture is for naught. If they both leave, they're losing money. Like
Um,
from a practical
um,
standpoint.
well, yeah, from said practical standpoint, they're marrying into way more,
Shoot, you right.
and
You
they
might
will
be onto
have
something
enough
there.
to start their own bakeries. And if they really want to continue baking, they definitely have the money to
But what
open them.
about their customers?
So,
What about their customers?
so they could just sell the bakery to someone else.
More than anything, I'm worried about the kid, right? Because he has a child.
Well, she didn't
And like
seem
her
too
whole
bothered
life is in
about them trying
Chicago.
to get back together. She was the one practically scheming the entire time.
See, that's what I'm saying, but like she do be scheming, bro. But like here's the thing. Sh- They don't okay, this is my psych major coming out, but you know what I mean. Like, you're basically taking a kid away from everything she's ever known. Also, what about like I forget what happened to her mom. Did she die?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they probably mentioned in the first movie, and that's how
Okay,
minimal of a
so
role any of that kid had in them.
that's so sad. Okay, anyways,
Well, I
first of
don't
all,
think that's what
mother's
something we were
dead.
supposed to worry about anyways. Like they were trying to show that the kid wanted this to happen, so that's why she won't get offended when it ultimately requires like
Yeah,
moving. And even then, they didn't even
I
imply
guess.
that he would be coming to the kingdom. It could just be like they are continuing to do long distance. I don't think long distance was the issue. The issue is what they would do, like what their goals in life are together, I guess. Like, because initially I think they thought that it was going
Yeah.
to be like her just staying with him, like supporting his business.
Mm.
But then the sudden shift of needing to take on like higher responsibility, like that requires like a different level of commitment like
Yeah,
on her end.
that makes sense.
So like he wasn't
Yeah.
prepared for that because he thought that she was gonna leave all that.
Mm. And like
Like she was
now,
going to, but plans changed.
I really that yeah. Like here's my you make some solid points here.
The thing that made me upset was when they went ahead
Mm.
and switched places, but Stacy didn't tell her husband.
That for me was sketchy. I was like, why wouldn't you?
Why?
That's
Why
kind
would
of like
you? How would
because then
what?
yeah, Literally, why wouldn't you tell the
I
husband?
felt so bad.
Like,
'Ca it was so bad, and then the line about,
because
like
he told him the concerns, and then she was like, "Ah,
no, yeah, and then,
oh
like, the
no."
line when, like, he's, like, just genuinely worried about, like, what's going on with his wife that he hasn't seen all day on a vacation that they're
Mm,
taking together. He literally, like, asks, like, the daughter, like, "Oh, like, where is Stacy?" And she is the daughter's line about how, like, he's being a helicopter husband. I was like, "What kind of
that is so
manipulation,
mean.
gaslighting are
Literally.
you teaching an 11-year-old to do for you in order to just hide a stupid, stupid
That
lie? Like, just tell."
yeah, I genuinely don't understand why Stacy wouldn't tell her husband. Because I mean, like, she's pulled that before. Like, he wouldn't be mad.
Yeah, and
She's
it's not
pulled that shit
affecting
before.
him.
That's how they met. Yeah. Like, he's not gonna be like, no, you can't switch, never again. No, it's gonna be like, okay, have fun. Another person knows your secret and can help your cover. That's it.
Like, that could have been actually a good conflict point in the storyline. Like, him being, like, in the beginning of the movie, like, like, they talk about, like, what they did 2 years ago. And it's like, and they're just like, he's like, yeah, I just hope it never happens again. And then that causes them to, like, hide it from
Yeah,
him later, which then causes conflict in the second half because like, either he has to find out because because she got kidnapped, and then he gets
yeah,
infuriated at the rest of them for doing such a thing to him again.
yeah.
But
Also, Mans is so wholesome. He's like he just be thinking about his wife.
dude's bland as hell though.
I
Bland.
mean, facts,
They
but
didn't
like
give
he's like,
any. They didn't give
yeah,
any proper character development to any of these characters other than Vanessa's character. And I bet you Vanessa Hudgens is the producer for this movie.
she is the producer. In
Yeah,
fact, you are
yeah.
correct.
So what does that mean? That means that she probably put money into this because she could play more of the characters that have actual plot.
Obviously, and she gets paid more because what? It's like three different characters,
I mean, I
and
don't even
like their
know if it's
styling
like,
budget is large, and
well, that's the money's coming out of her pocket. But yes,
yeah,
most of it goes back because she's the producer and she's the main actor.
yeah,
But like either way, like the intentional, like not making the main guys like super super small and bland. Like even like the villainous guy
yeah.
had like what, like 2 minutes screen time.
Yeah, I didn't like him though, because he was like, he was all gung ho about like, I genuinely thought he could be like a good match for like Margaret, but then you find out his gold digging ways,
Oh, but
and
it was so
he's playing
sus
like
from
all
the
jealous
start.
and shit.
It was so
Yeah,
sus from the
so
start.
I was
Like
like, damn,
he was
why
so
can't we just have like
obviously
a
like
wholesome romance?
no. It was just so obvious because they didn't have
He
much
was
time to
into
develop.
her.
They weren't trying to develop him. They were just trying to make us feel like, oh, there's another guy. Just kidding. She still likes
Yeah,
Kevin, and then boom, he's actually a
you're
bad
right.
guy. Like, duh.
Also, tell me why I genuinely thought Stacy and Kevin would have been like a solid
Yes,
couple in like
makes
the
more
first
sense.
movie. Like I really thought that they were going to get together. They were going to go on this amazing baking trip and like she would finally like be like, "Wow. Yeah, I think I could see a future." But no, she goes and meets some whack ass, well, not whack ass,
Well,
but
like,
like,
it's weird that like
random
he likes someone that looks exactly like her, but like has
prick.
like a slightly different personality. That
Or like an accent or with an
wasn't what
accent, Loki.
that's not what made them fall for each other. Like,
Oh shit, you're right. Yeah,
'cause
yeah,
she was doing the fake American accent, even though it wasn't fake, right? But like, and then he was
yeah.
all like, "Wow, why are you like so different all of a sudden? Like, you feel different."
Literally because she couldn't bake. Like one of the main things is she burnt like French toast on like the day that they switched.
And that's what made him fall in love. Oh yes, a woman that's not threatening my profession anymore.
Oh my god. We can get together now because you can't
But you know what I
cook.
mean? Like, there wasn't that much of a. Like, I don't know. I don't remember the first movie that much. It
Yeah.
was literally 2 years ago since I watched it. So
Yeah, same. But like I don't know why, but I really thought that they were going to get together. And I really got like the sense of like the vibes between them. I sensed chemistry, okay?
They had more chemistry with their like years long friendship more than
Yeah.
whatever that King and Stacy had or whatever Margaret and him had.
Oh, facts. Like straight up. I don't understand. And like honestly, makes more sense for them to get together because he was finally ready to like move on and like he was given the eyes, like the signal, and
What are
she
you talking
was
about?
like,
You're talking about when in this movie when Stacy's married?
no, 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 no. First movie. Like when she was single and he was finally ready to move on after like his wife
Yeah, but come on, the movie
and
was
like
called Princess Switch. We all knew that that wasn't gonna happen. They gave us
yeah.
the
Well, you guys already know that we're suckers for realistic rom-coms, so you
yeah. It makes
know.
more sense for like a friendship of missed opportunities to
Yeah.
like ultimately become like a relationship,
Yeah.
especially during like
But
the magical time of Christmas and like whatnot.
mhm. Yes. Oh my god, when love is in the air.
Yeah, and you know
Forget
what?
Valentine's Day.
Christmas and just like winter is a romantic time, but I feel like all these movies just
I
are
agree.
horribly portraying those times.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. Like the holidays.
I don't think I felt like I've seen like a good Christmas rom com in like a long time. Like Love Actually is like the only one that pops into my head. It could be just that a fact that I don't watch a lot of. Maybe I don't watch as many like good ones as I do bad ones because the bad ones are easy to get on like
Yeah.
Netflix.
Yeah. Shout out Netflix.
Although I feel I really do feel like the last time I saw that was really good was like
I don't know if it
Love
was
Actually, which is
good.
like heavily Christmas.
I don't know if it was good or not, but I heard like Last Christmas was like really like a tearjerker. But I don't think that was like a rom.
Yeah,
But yeah.
it was marketed as a rom com, I think, so I would consider it a rom com.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, like I thought like that one I haven't seen all of it. I watched some of it on a plane and I was like, "Oh, that's pretty nice." But
Mm.
yeah, no, there hasn't been like a good one. Maybe like um do you remember
The Holiday,
the
the
what's
Holiday,
that?
that was kind of
Holiday?
cute. So base Holiday, just like Holiday. Basically, it's with Cameron Diaz,
Ooh.
uh, Jude Law, Jack Black, and why Kate Winslet. That's her name, the one from Titanic.
Ah, her, yes.
Oh wow, the fact that I got that, wow, amazing. Basically, like the
Oh,
one
that's
Kate Winslet
cute.
is
Okay, yes,
British,
I've
Cameron
seen
Diaz
this.
is
Yes, 2006.
American. They go through bad breakup. They both go through bad breakups, and they're like, you know what? For the holidays, for the Christmas holidays, I am done with where I'm from, seeing my exes, whatever. I want to leave, go to a different place, right?
Mm,
So they decide to. These two girls decide to do this thing where they switch houses. It was like probably some online ad or whatever, I can't remember. But like basically they switch their houses. It's their own houses, but they're just switching it over. And so Kate Winslet goes to like America and Cameron Diaz goes to some place in Britain.
okay, okay.
And then they meet those respective guys. Like so Kate Winslet meets Jack Black and Cameron Diaz meets Jude Law while they're in the
Oh,
other houses. So Jude Law is Kate Winslet's brother, and then Jack Black, I don't remember. I think he's just like someone she meets in LA, and like then like a romance, like a holiday romance starts from there.
that's so cute. Also, okay, we might have to do an episode on this at some point, but I've heard The Happiest Season is also like a really cute movie or like a good movie. I don't know.
Didn't it just come
Yeah,
out?
this year, like,
I feel like I just saw ads for it the other
yeah, it
day
came out like this year,
because it just came
like 2 weeks ago or something. But yeah, it's like Kristen Stewart and stuff. But yeah, no, okay. That movie sounds really cute, so maybe I'll watch it sometime if I can find it.
That one's yeah, it's cute, and I think there's like comedic elements because of Jack Black
I
and
love Jack Black.
Cameron Diaz, or like they're like good comedic
Mm.
timing here and
Yeah.
there, but it's also just like it focuses more on like building romance, which is a very nice thing to
Mm,
see. Which is what I think a lot of these
yeah.
cheesy rom-coms lack, like Christmas rom-coms lack, is that they're trying to put so much other content within a romance.
Yeah. Okay. Also, moving like kind of rewinding it back to the Princess Switch 2, the blonde character, I forget her name. I know it's like swanky name, but because there's Margaret, there's Stacy.
Is it Fiona?
I think it is Fiona. Yeah. I'm gonna go with Fiona. That sounds about right. So basically Fiona,
Watch it be completely wrong. One sec.
um, no, okay, so basically she has two little sidekicks, right? And so those like they
Yeah.
literally first day they literally go like because she has a party for like I guess pre coronation or something like that, like before she gets
Mm.
everything. But basically, yes, it is Lady Fiona Pembroke. You're right. Sorry, I was checking it. But basically, she has these two little
Wow,
things.
my brain.
Okay, too good, man, too good. Now that we're not studying for finals, you've got so much more open space. Uh, but basically, she has these two little people, little sidekicks, and first party that they go to all together, they literally steal everything that they can possibly hand, including a pair of dentures. Like I don't like how do you even get that to like pickpocket? I don't understand.
Maybe
Like
that was supposed to be
dentures,
the joke.
like toilet paper,
I think
random.
that was supposed to be a joke. Like the joke, like you laugh at that fact that they somehow got dentures.
They're out of touch with. Well, maybe they are in touch with Gen Z humor. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't think we were the audience though.
Yeah, I guess. But who are they trying to target here? Like tweens?
Uh, no, I think it's just like maybe like adults that like cheesy movies.
You might be onto something here. But like, yeah, I don't know.
Like they know that it's supposed to be predictable and bad. I don't know, bro. I'm looking at these reviews and I'm very confused.
Like genuinely like those two sidekicks I felt so bad for because literally they had to act like high key pretty like dumb or like not as intellectual as like they probably are in real life, and then on top of that they had like less than a minute of screen time maybe, and there was one person, the girl was like Fiona was always mad at her or something, and the guy was just like vibing but also scared. And like the biggest part they had was like helping her dye her hair and finish her makeup and transform into Lady Margaret Della whatever.
Mm.
Yeah. It's
Why do I feel like these reviews are bought or something? Like who's giving good reviews?
64% on Rotten Tomatoes, 5.3 on
There's no
IMDb.
way. There's no way that you guys people watch that and are like, this is a great movie.
I don't care about the negative comments,
I'm
but I
pissed.
absolutely loved and adored this movie. Oh my god. I can't. I can't.
Okay, but like there was barely any Christmas in this. They decorated the palace. There was some snow, and then there was like a 2 seconds of a ball.
That was it. It was literally it. They were like, yes, let's decorate the freaking palace. And then they had like one montage of like them wrapping or putting like a garland on the staircase and putting up one singular Christmas tree and maybe some nutcrackers. And then they were like, yep, we did it. We did it. Like that type of thing. Truly
Yeah, bro. I
unnecessary.
didn't feel like it was that holiday or Christmassy inspired at all.
It just felt winter. That's it.
Yes.
Like,
It wasn't even like pretty winter. It was not even showcasing true winter because it was all in studio.
yeah.
Or
That's so
probably in
sad.
like LA where it doesn't snow.
Mm. Yeah, they really had to fake that stuff.
Maybe my bar for romantic winter scenes is set so high by these K dramas that like do so much like romanticization of like the first snow, and like it's so
Literally, yeah.
beautiful whenever they show like winter starting, that I'm just like, "Ah, why
It's
can't you do the same thing for these Christmas movies?" And they
it's
don't.
just because they like K dramas, I feel like romanticize the littlest things. Like even just the touching of
Oh yeah,
hands, or like the first snow, or like even with like the
it's
tradition of
that
like a
that
100 days.
soundtrack, the OST just like coming in full blast with like the slow-mo shots.
Yeah. It's literally like, because you get the surge of the music with like them falling, falling like in the most unrealistic ways, where they land like
True.
perfectly on or
On each
between
other.
each other. Like, it's kind of wild, but that's why like that's half of the pull, that like why people watch it, is because some of the stuff is so unrealistic, but it romanticizes the little things of daily life that we have hoped.
Yeah, it's what they like show is like the innocent small things that build romance, not some big moments
Yeah,
or trials or tribulations, you know.
yeah. It's like it's the little things, guys. That's it. That's all we're asking for here. Um, but yes. I think
But yeah, a big plot hole was definitely why they even broke up in the first place. It gave
yeah,
us no pull as to like why we even care about them getting back together again. Because they can't make it super crazy, like right, like that Kevin cheated on her or the other way
yeah,
around, because then you don't want them to get back together. And they can't make it too minimal, like, they just grew apart, because then people are going to be like, well, how are you still
yeah. Then
liking
why
each
are
other
you?
now that
Yeah,
you
then
shouldn't
why are
have
you
broken up
back?
together?
Like it doesn't make sense. Ay, ay, ay.
So I guess they didn't want to say why they broke up because there was no good reason to
Yeah,
like give
but
an
they just
audience
needed
meaning.
that to
I
be
mean,
the
they could have
plot.
brainstormed and given one.
Yeah, they could have, but they were
Yeah,
like,
and so
nah,
they give
nah, nah,
us
nah.
no context as to no context as to like why the breakup happened in the first place. So like there was no focused interest within the
Yeah,
audience about why they're getting back together. And also it was like so easy. It was like 1 2 minute scene
yeah. Where they were
of
like,
them
I
just
never
being
stopped
alone
loving
together.
you.
Yeah, and evading the whole like why did we break up
Yeah,
thing.
literally. I think,
It was like an insider conversation that the audience wasn't a part of, and the whole movie is targeted to us. So like we should be a part of what this conversation is about.
yeah, for sure, for sure. No, another thing is like, I, like, no cap, thought that, um, at the end of like the movie, or like when Stacy was like running away from being like kidnapped, like escaping the kidnapping or whatever, and met up with the prince, I genuinely thought she was going to be like, the reason why I've been so like distant or whatever is cuz I'm pregnant. And I was like, "Oh, there we go. Third movie." But they didn't. But I genuinely thought that was how that was going to go down.
According to like the beginning scene, she keeps evading it, like doing it,
Mm.
and therefore having a child. So like,
Well,
also a very unnecessary scene in the beginning of the movie about like how he is trying to do something more with her, but she's like so distracted by like another friend couple that like she doesn't even get the hints or whatever, because women and sex is not a combination that should be advertised. I don't know. It was just such a weird scene with the rest of the movie not even being serious or like talking about those things.
yeah. It's like, I mean, yeah, I get that it's like supposed to be like I guess a chill rom com, but you can still address stuff, because like it's still like, yes, Vanessa Hudgens, like all three of Vanessa Hudgens characters are like the mains, but you still have like other issues that each of those characters have to deal with, not just like Margaret and Kevin getting back together, right? Because they didn't even deal with like
Yeah, and you're showing
they didn't even,
they were showing like
yeah,
oh sorry. They were showing the king having like what was the like a small monologue about like how he feels like things aren't working out.
yeah,
Like he doesn't understand why things aren't going so swimmingly between him and Stacy. and he's talking to Margaret about it and not Stacy.
Yeah. Like the
And that
whole
solved it
yeah.
because it was actually Stacy, not Margaret.
Yeah, but that wasn't it didn't because it was just him talking and her just listening when it has to be like a conversation, obviously. Like it's not just like poof,
Yeah,
okay.
she came back with her reply later. She came back with her reply later
Yeah.
after
Literally.
being like, oh,
Like I don't know, man. It's I guess you get they do the bare minimum, I feel like. For what's required for a rom-com holiday version. I don't know.
I feel like every bit of conflict they brought up, were able to finish and wrap it up in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, which is unfortunately not how real life
And it
works.
didn't, and then I'm like confused as to like where the rest of the minutes of the movie went to. Like, where did they
It
go?
was all
Like, what
exposition.
did I watch? Yeah, it didn't feel like it. It felt like they took 5 minutes to introduce the conflict and another 5 minutes to finish it up. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, how did you do the rest of this movie?
The rest of it's
That's
so
because they
extra.
had so many different little things happening
Mm.
at the same
And
time.
I think that's definitely due to the fact that like Vanessa Hudgens had three different characters and three different storylines. Because you had like Margaret with her crazy stuff, then you had Stacy, who's like actively avoiding any like intimacy conversation that she could have with the king. And then there's Margaret, who's like trying to patch things up, but also torn between like this new dude and Kevin. But she really likes Kevin, but she also really likes being a ruler and like those responsibilities. So it was just a lot. And like a lot of it was just like laying out the plot so that it could be wrapped up in a neat little bow within those 5 minute periods that they
I mean,
actually
that's what.
have.
No, no, but that's literally this movie was just them telling us instead of showing us,
Yeah.
telling us all their thoughts, telling us the storyline, telling us what was happening. No thinking, no showing, just
Yeah.
this is what's going through my brain right now. This is how I feel right now. No actual like showing of
They
emotion
were really
or
like
plot
acting.
or like,
No, we're gonna read the script, okay?
yes, we're gonna read the plot summary
We'll give you the
in
spark
script form.
notes.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Honestly, I guess I respect
There was
it.
more plot to the first one.
Yeah. I guess I respect it
There
because
was more
like
sustainable plot.
sustainable plot, yeah. I agree. Like it had definitely had more substance to it. But I mean, gotta respect Vanessa Hudgens for like making that bank and like, doing what she can. Cause like honestly, she's going off. She's got like a bunch of holiday Netflix movies. She's killing the game. Like,
Yeah, and this has been a year where we've been craving content, I guess.
hmm
Like, we just accept any bit of TV or movie coming our way on streaming platforms. So,
oh,
it's a great time to bring out something
definitely.
like this.
Definitely. I mean, after finals, the amount of Netflix I watched literally the day after was insane. I spent all day in bed just with my computer, binge watching and catching up
Oh,
on
wonderful.
everything. Yes.
Wow.
Exposing myself hard
I
right
feel so overwhelmed by the amount of, yeah, I'm so overwhelmed with how much
now.
I
Yeah.
could be watching that I end up not choosing anything because why choose? And so then I just end up going back to YouTube, which is a lot smaller bits
Yeah.
of things that I can control.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of the shows, at least the ones that I've kind of made a mental list. A lot of the shows or like some of the movies oftentimes require more of a time commitment and also more like mental capacity to like start, right?
Yeah,
And like,
compared to like YouTube
oh my god,
videos.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or like even like these kind of like holiday movies, they like I'm not invested in it, right? But if I start like a new show that I know my friend is that knows my taste has recommended to me, and has been like, you're gonna love this or
Mm-hmm.
something like that, I know I'm gonna get emotionally invested, and then that's just gonna it's gonna take a lot out of me. But yeah,
Yeah.
respect to Vanessa Hudgens. Not my cup of tea. If a third one comes out, I don't know if I'll watch it, but you know, but yeah, it is what it is, and I don't think I'd want to see switched for the third time if they came out with that.
Only if it was to talk about it like this
Yes.
again. That's the
Yeah.
only reason. And I don't want to even be emotional. I mean, I'm not emotionally invested. I barely care, but
you know, that's where we're at. So, I mean, by the time this comes out, it will be literally what, the day before Christmas? Day before Christmas Eve?
Chris, yeah,
Yes. So, since we won't see you until, or won't talk to you until after you spend Christmas with your family or friends or loved ones or whatever you do to celebrate, we wish you a happy holidays, um, a fun
yes,
time, and hopefully you get,
yeah.
yeah,
Whatever little thing you can do for the holidays this year, considering that it's a
yeah.
weird time, do it. If it means watching cheesy Christmas movies with a cup of hot cocoa, go for it.
And some popcorn, maybe? Some
And some
popcorn,
popcorn,
maybe?
yeah. Hot cocoa popcorn
Yeah.
combination. God tier, guys.
Ooh,
And I stand
so
by that.
good. Agreed. She introduced me to it, and it was so good. Um, but yes, so happy holidays. Stay safe. Have fun with your families and friends, loved ones, everybody. And we'll catch you a little bit before the new year.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Bye.